Okay, it looks like our next interview subject is here. You here?
Yeah, I guess so.
You ready for the interview?
Here's your kids. See what happens, huh?
Okay. Would you like to sit down, or would you like to stay on your walker?
I'll stand
Here, if
for
you're
a
going to stay on your walker, let's move this chair. You get a better view. What's your name?
Most people call me Michelle.
Michelle. Most people call you Michelle.
Well, this is my middle name.
What's your first
A lot of
name?
people, Elizabeth.
Why do you go by your middle name?
I like it better. I never felt like an Elizabeth.
How old are you?
65.
What's your source of income, if any?
Social Security.
Okay. Michelle, I don't mind telling you, there's some rumors around. You know, a lot of people recognize you around here.
Everybody says, I see you everywhere.
And some of the people who have recognized you, just one or two maybe, the rumor is that you have money. You have money.
Really?
Yeah, you have money.
How about that?
Is that true?
I have an income
do you
of
have-
$1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month.
A whole month I get $997.
Okay. Are you unable to afford a place to stay?
Yes, I'm unable to afford a place to stay. I could pay rent if it were somewhere $600 or less.
Now, for
There's
a while, you were observed looking like you lived at one of the condominiums at Bradford Acres, one of the upstairs ones.
Oh, I lived there for 3 weeks.
That guy
was,
just,
last year.
he just let you live there, the guy? His name's Steve, right?
Yeah. How do you know that?
I used to live there.
Oh, okay.
So how do you know Steve? How did you come to live
He
in...
came to me one morning, I remember this, a very early morning, it was still dark, at 7-Eleven, when it was still there.
Yeah?
And introduced himself to me and said he had a condo. He had bought a house up somewhere near Tarpon. He lived in the house now. He thought it was cold, and would I like to stay in it? Well, he's getting some people to come and do some work on it. I could stay until they come. It would be about a week. It ended up being 3 weeks.
Okay.
And it was Christmas time. I spent Christmas in that condo. It was empty. There wasn't really anything in it anymore. We call air mattress that I somehow or another popped. And so I slept on the floor, where I sleep anyway every night. So
What's the most amount of money you ever made in a month or a year? What's your highest income you've ever made?
I waited tables most of my life. I did a lot of other things, but mostly waiting tables. So on a good week, probably the most. Well, the last restaurant I was working at, I could make 150 to 200 a day.
Which restaurant was that?
That was Gulfport Diner, Gulfport Family Restaurant. They call it a diner.
Okay.
Believe it or not, it was a money place. I know I don't talk loud enough. They say.
Have you been homeless only in Florida or
Yes.
other places too?
Only in Florida, and only for this past 3 years. I've never been homeless before, or on the street, or anything like
How
that.
did you get to be homeless? What caused that?
My husband died, but that wasn't it. I maintained for 15 years after, or 12 years after he died. I'm getting distracted. I also have a thing that makes me distract very easily. I should have told you that. Things like that very much distract me.
Okay, your husband died.
Yes, he died.
How did he die?
That was my daughter. My husband died from diabetes.
Did you love your husband?
Yes, I loved him.
How long were you married?
2 years, but we had been together for 10.
Okay. Do
Lived
you miss
together.
him?
Yes.
When you sleep outside, I've seen you sleeping in that kind of nook and cranny of that shopping center by the pawn shop, right?
Yeah.
You just curl up on the ground?
Come there and watch me at night. A lot of people seem to do that.
I've just driven by and noticed you.
Okay.
So tell us about sleeping outside. Tell us more about where you sleep and how comfortable or uncomfortable it is.
Well, in the beginning, it was very scary, especially when I left the company of other people and decided to be by myself.
Keep going. Thank you.
And I did that because everybody was stealing from me. They stole everything I had pretty much every day. My medicine,
stole your stuff every day?
my clothes, my blankets. Well, that's what they do. It's not just me. They steal from everybody. They steal from each other. It's just what homeless people seem to do, is steal from each other.
Okay, so it was other homeless people stealing
Yes,
from you,
homeless people stealing from
as
me.
far as you knew.
Oh, I know, yes.
Okay, so it was when you were awake you saw this happen?
No, people told me, or sometimes I would notice it, It happened in strange ways. I have this thing where I fall asleep all over the place. People probably see me sleeping. They follow me around and wait for me to go to sleep and take it, And I found out.
Where and how often do you shower?
There's the question. I have a very good friend who lets me come to her house to shower. Indian Rocks Beach, well, you can't do in the wintertime, but in the summertime, you can go there and use the outdoor shower. You can't take your clothes all the way off. But
So you have a good friend that lets you shower inside?
Inside, yeah.
But she won't let you sleep there?
Her husband will not let me sleep there.
Her husband what?
Will not let me sleep there. They just got married like a year ago. So he's just, I don't know. She was homeless too, so it's a story. That's her story. Yeah. You have to talk to her one day too.
Tell me this, Michelle. What about sleeping in shelters? Why don't you want to sleep in a homeless shelter?
I have a hard time talking about the shelters because I feel like they ruined me.
The shelters ruined you?
Yes, because I knew I was going to be homeless, and I came out with a plan. I would be homeless. I would go to the shelter. I would do what I needed to do, whatever that is. And within 6 months or so, I would have a place to live.
Yeah,
they would help me, whatever.
Right.
And I can't really tell you all the details and all that, but I can tell you that the people who run those places are not always good people. Not all of them are bad either.
What shelters did you try? What shelters did you sleep?
Pinellas Hope and Safe Harbor, the two main ones. And
what happened at Safe Harbor that was so bad?
Safe Harbor, I was there 9 months. And
you were at Safe Harbor 9 months?
9 months. Never had not one thing bad happen, not one. I never did anything wrong while I was there that they knew about.
You never did anything wrong that they knew about?
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do anything bad there. I really didn't. I smoke pot, but not there.
You're a stoner.
I'm a stoner. I'm a hippie.
Tell us about Safe Harbor.
Safe Harbor is a horrible place. It's meant for a jail diversion program. And they'll tell you that, first and foremost, jail diversion. Second, for the mentally unstable. And if there's room, they'll take some homeless people in. Okay, there's porta-potties. On the weekends, if it's a Monday holiday, they don't come to clean it on Monday, you can't sit on it because the poop is handed up over the seat. That's how you live in Safe Harbor. When you first get there and you're living outside. I lived outside for 4 months because the virus
terrible.
The virus had just started.
So
they wouldn't let us inside.
There's not a clean place to poop.
Not outside. When you get inside, it's different. But when you're outside, when you first get there, or for me, when I got there and the virus was just starting and they didn't know what to do, they just kept us all outside for 4 months.
Other than the theft that you've told us about, have you ever been assaulted or victimized physically?
No.
While sleeping outside?
No.
Nobody comes and kicks you around?
Okay, no, but one man came and peed on me one night.
Was it a patron of the nearby bar or something?
I'm not sure, probably. I don't know who he was. I didn't know him. But he was a man who decided to park his work truck beside me and pee on me. And the only reason that he left, and I don't know what his further intentions were, but the reason he left is because someone that he hadn't seen was sleeping over there, rolled up in a blanket.
So other homeless people sleep near you?
Not often, but sometimes. They don't like me that much sometimes because I don't like them sleeping by me.
Where are you originally from?
I was born in Maryland, but I grew up in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale?
I'm a Florida girl.
Do you remember the radio station WSHE?
Yes, it's she. Yeah.
She's only rock and roll.
Yes, I do.
Best radio station ever.
Why, are you from Fort Lauderdale?
No, I have family there.
Oh, okay.
What brought you?
WQAM before that, but okay.
What brought you to Pinellas County? When you moved to Pinellas County, what brought you here?
My grandmother had come here, and then my mother had come here. My grandmother died. My mother came here. I followed her, and she got sick, and she died, and I'm still here.
Okay. We're going to stop the interview. We're going to stop this segment, and we're going to come back with the next segment of the interview, which is background and family. Stay tuned for more of Michelle's interview. Thank you.
Sorry.